PTG, Proxy Table Gaming. I'm Hyper G. He's Lucky Sixes.
Buongiorno.
How are you?
Good. Very good, my friend. Thank you
Good.
for asking. How are you? How's the
I'm
family?
well. I'm good. Yes. This is battle reporting time. We'll love battle reporting time, don't we?
We do. It's exciting.
It's almost as exciting as the battle itself.
Oh, as well, there's so many in real life tournaments being sprouted up now. Please,
People
government.
are talking about them.
Please.
It's not government, it's pandemic.
Yeah, no, that's it. Definitely is. So, yeah.
So, we're into round 4 of Scottish Championship.
Yep.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves because the excitement will overflow.
So many projects, guys. We've got
there
so much on.
I know. It's crazy. It really is crazy.
Very excited.
Crazy good, though. Crazy good. You've now moved into the nearly mid-table slot on Scottish Championship.
Bottom third-ish.
I was being generous, but yeah.
No.
Obviously, I'm there anyway. Still lower than you, way lower than you. I've managed to get 21 points from my first 3 rounds. You're on like 31 after 4 rounds, I think it is.
So you're about 10 back, but a game in hand.
With a game in hand, yes. So, obviously round 4, my Dread Elves have been drawn to go up against Ogre Khans.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. So, yeah, looking forward to that. I do know Ogre Khans relatively well.
Who's
sort of,
Ogre?
maybe.
Ogre Khans.
Paul McNeil's Ogre Khans. Never played against Paul, so it was good to chat with him.
Another podcast?
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, which was great.
It's like the Smelly Git Radio or something?
Something along those lines, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Like
not sure.
Yeah. And so, similar to you, Dawn Assault, secure target. You could say similar. You could say exactly the same.
I like similar. I do like similar.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And this one wasn't on wall, hence the different presenting screens, obviously. Dread Elves wise, you know my list. You know Kuloth and Krasnar, of course. Staples of the army.
We do. Yes.
Whether they be good entities or bad
I can't wait for the 18 names you've got for black cloaks.
Black cloaks, yeah, they're each individually named.
Yeah.
They are superstars.
They are that good.
Yeah, too right. So, yeah, that would just be listed in brackets. The 6 names.
And welcome to Percy.
That's a great idea. Yeah, we should make a competition, a PTG competition. If you win your competition, you get to name a black cloak.
Yeah, man.
That'll take off, won't it?
Absolutely. It can't not.
Absolutely. So, yeah, in spite of losing my first 2 games in the tournament, I had a good recovery round against Makar in round 3. We mentioned it in our previous video, but massive thanks to the comments for that battle. Really good. Agreed generally with the conclusion that the lack of overrun from the Lancers didn't affect the outcome of the battle. Yeah, awesome comments.
Yeah, we've got a good crowd normally, but the last few months, I'd say they've stepped it up. They're stepping up.
They have.
You guys are stepping up your game.
Yeah,
we got loads of chat going on.
It's really good
on the Twitterage, on the Instagrams, like with Gobbos, what he's showing off.
Yeah,
and all the forums and all that stuff. So yeah, cheers guys.
Really good. It's really good.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. And Paul McNeil's Ogres. This, I wouldn't say it's a common setup, but there are features that are considered go-tos with the Ogres at the moment. He's got his big block of mercenary veterans.
Oh yes.
With the plate armor and the devastating charge.
So what? So Iron Fist gives him +1 armor, right? So it's 3 up armor.
Yes, 3 up armor.
3 up armor, devastating charge, and parry, and paired weapons. Iron Fist.
No, extra attack. It's not actually a paired weapon. It's an extra attack. Yeah.
Sick.
It doesn't add an offensive skill.
That is sick though.
Yeah, and they've got Swift Stride from the Pattern of the Great Grass Sky as well.
So they have like 5 attacks each or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Whoo, boy.
Yeah, and then obviously a champion with 6 attacks on a champion. So yeah, nice.
That's sick.
Really, really brutal. Supported by a big unit of Tusker cavalry as well, who have the Stalker standard, so they don't care about terrain.
Is great weapons a good choice on them?
I think it's as good as any. They're only like agility 2 anyway. The riders and the mounts.
Yeah.
Even the Tuskers are quite slow, so you're not losing much by having great weapons. Chances are your opponent's attacking first, so you may as well be strength 6 on your riders. The actual mounts are strength 5 as well. So, and they've got impact hits, so it's you are doing some before your enemy attacks.
Yeah, it's good to see a great Khan as well. Not many of them.
Yes, it is. Not a lot. They tend to get phased out for the Khan BSB build, or a Mammoth Hunter. But yeah, he's pretty lethal with Kagadai's Legacy as well. That's multiple wounds D3. So my
Kraken Killer.
Bear that in mind, absolutely. His Thaumaturgy, so obviously Wrath of God warning, and yeah, even the Trolley to Khan is a 4-up fortitude save. So he's got some decent protection in there. The core is 3 blocks of tribesmen, very nice for darts. Stealing objectives.
Will they be used as darts?
They certainly will be. Yeah. Absolutely. Which is something I failed to do completely in Art of War. I didn't.
There's a definite trend to these 3. I guess what they're called. They're not standard size, are they? Like medium size. To having 3 of something and darting them.
Yeah, large.
Large size. Happens with vampires sometimes with the ghouls. Obviously, you've got the hoarders.
Hoarders as well.
Sick. They're the best at it. And then tribesmen. There's a few decent things of it around.
Absolutely, there are. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then he's got his big block of bruisers. Big block of bruisers.
Yeah, man.
As well. And that's just nasty. I mean, I favoured that idea. I didn't end up taking it to Art of War. Wished I did. But yeah, it's pretty scary. He's got the Banner of Speed on the Khan as well, which means one of his big units of infantry is going to be movement 7, which is very quick.
Yeah, man.
And with impact hits all round. Yeah, Dread Elves on alert for this one.
Yeah.
Got 2 Slave Giants with great weapons as well. So, a nicely rounded army, really.
To add to the mix.
You'll be pleased to know that this picture is pre-scout placement. So the Black Cloaks have not gone there.
Whew.
I'll get that out of the way straight away, because not only is that an illegal placement, because they're within 18 inches and not within a terrain, but it's also, not an idea. Not a great idea. I do get to turn 1, so not quite as bad idea as that might sound, because I could move them in my turn 1 first. But yeah, they're not there.
Is that where the targets are?
Yes. So what you've got is the 2 secure targets, one on the far right, just hiding in between that space around the hill, and one in the middle next to the forest.
Quite similar to mine then, actually.
Yeah, really similar, actually.
In placements. Just yours, really one isn't in the forest, it's just next to it.
Exactly, yeah. I believe I dropped for first.
Sound.
Well, I definitely got first turn anyway. So going from left to right, I've got Kuloth on the left. I've got the altar with the Judicators, and in there is my
with the Judicators.
Sorry, I don't mean Judicators.
Okay.
I mean militants. Yeah.
I thought you changed it up.
No, I hadn't. Sorry. Yeah. I got my alchemy legate in with them as normal. Then I've got Krasnar. Sort of not really on the hill. I didn't want to be too defensive, and I didn't think he was going to rush for me too soon.
Yeah,
I'm very combat based anyway, so there's going to be a little element of standing off, I think. Then I've got the other militants, or second unit of militants, got 3 now, with the BSB, who is divination. Then the outcast in with the Judicators as normal. The harpies sitting behind, and then the third unit of Judicators without any characters on the right side. He has put his giants out on the far left. Loving that from the Black Cloaks straight away. Obviously, you'll see where they go in a minute. Then he's got his bruiser block. I believe in with them is the Great Khan at the moment, but I can't quite see because of the champion marker. So I know which one the shaman is, but I can't quite see his differentials. The 3 darts into space between. He's just got his 3 combat blocks, really. Space with a couple of saber-toothed tigers as well.
Yeah.
And obviously that dart unit on the far right is obviously there just to get the objective, and the Tuskers probably to cover it. So I immediately know that unit of militants on my right is going to have a hard job getting hold of that objective. So we shall see. There go the scouts. They know what they're going to do.
Yeah, man.
With the giants there, that is some juicy poisoned targets. Similar to your battle, really, in that I've got poison and there be giants.
Be giants.
Yeah. My turn 1, I move up quite aggressively.
That's very aggressive.
Because, I'm not hanging around. I want to get into them. At the same time, I'm not really... I don't want them to charge me. So I think what I've got here... excuse me. is... I lost my voice for a bit.
Too excited.
I know, I still lost it. Don't know why. It's not all that exciting. The militants on the 2 rightmost militants and adjudicators are out of charge range. I don't think I even would have given them double 6s. So I'm assuming they're just out. Even though one of his units is movement 7. I think it's the Merc Vets who are movement 7 because I've got the BSB and Swift Stride. So the Bruisers just move 6, not Swift Stride. On the left, though, my left, I have given him a potential overrun option via the Black Cloaks. That unit of Black Cloaks that's kind of in the forest is in the Bruisers' front. So they would front charge the Black Cloaks. Okay. Looks pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he charged with the Bruisers, he would be in the front of the Black Cloaks. And an overrun would take him into my altar unit. And that is kind of me setting a bit of a trap, because I kind of like the Bruisers into the altar unit, because I'd be attacking first by a long way. I would get the chance to buff my unit with magic, which obviously makes them high strength. I'd have a whole load of battle focus and rerolls and all sorts.
Sure, yeah.
And he would be res 3 as well, and I could be AP 1, or more. So actually, me setting up that Black Cloak there is me hoping he'll charge me.
Okay.
Which is obviously, a little bit risky, trying to get his combat units out.
And you're very confident of killing the giant.
Oh, I have to be at this stage. I have to be. I've got 18 Black Cloaks all looking at the giant. Obviously, I know I need to do 7 wounds to it. But yeah, if that giant doesn't go down for whatever reason, it's tricky. Absolutely. I have also got Divination Wizard. I've switched over my wizards as well. So I've got Divination in the altar unit for a Fate's Judgment option as well.
Sure. So
there's that. Magic-wise, I do not get a lot off. He dispels Fate's Judgment. So magic is not helping in the giant situation at all. It's going to be all on the shooting. What I do get, though, is I get Truth of Time on my militants with the altar to give them an extra double Swift Stride, basically.
Sure.
So that if his Bruisers charge the Black Cloaks and fail the charge, which is unlikely, or they charge the Black Cloaks and for whatever reason I countercharge, I'm guaranteeing that unit of militants can do the countercharge, really.
Sure, yeah.
And plus that buff, it still makes them higher strength. So,
it's pretty good.
There's that as well.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Go into shooting, and you will notice no more giant.
Was it close?
It was not close. The 2 units on the left.
How many shots each do they have?
2 shots each. So
let's math this.
Yeah, 36 shots.
Yeah.
Which 6 should be poisoned.
Yeah. No, that's
AP1, which will take his armor away.
Don't even have to mash it.
So I should use 6 wounds just from poison. Yeah, and then there's another 30 shots hitting on 3s. So
yeah, because what are they hitting on?
Normally on 3s, I think.
Are you quick to fire or anything like that?
Oh, there's something.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't
it's
remember.
like 4s or 5s, so you're still getting some extras.
I think it's 4s at worst.
You do need obviously fishing for 6s on the res, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
the
unit on the right near the forest actually gets to shoot at the bruisers and does a win to them. So
so you don't even do it with. So you do it with. Oh my goodness!
2 units did it. 2 units did it.
I was about to say that's fair and just.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. Yeah, I got some 6s on the wounding as well.
Nice.
So, yeah, giant goes bye.
Outrageous.
Absolutely. So what do we got? This is his movement in his turn 1. He sets his line very much. Doesn't take the charge with the bruisers.
Okay.
Which, based on all the way I've picked it up, might have been wise, but then I could have been wrong. So he doesn't take it.
He's got a lot of impact hits.
Yeah.
How many impact hits does that unit pump out?
The unit would have 8 impact hits because there's no characters at the moment.
If the other guy was in it, because he was in it previously, though, wasn't he?
Oh, sure. Yes, he was in it. Yeah, he would. That guy alone would have D3 plus 1.
Okay, so about 10.
Yeah.
10 to 12. Yeah, it's not.
That's strength 4 though, so it's only wounded on 3s as opposed to 2s.
Sure.
So actually, it might be winning on 2s because I'd be res 2, so it would be winning on 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because obviously my res goes down from the altar as well. So.
Sure. It's got to be a downside, eh?
Yeah. Well, it costs a decent amount as well. So there's that.
Yeah.
His giant moves to the flank. I don't imagine he's thinking his giant will survive. I was somewhat surprised the giant just didn't run into the corner and make the black cloaks chase him. Because this way, they haven't got to work that hard to kill it.
Really. Yeah, it's on the hill as well.
Exactly. But I guess there wasn't a lot the giant could do to survive. The impassable terrain feature in the dead center is kind of splitting the battlefield in 2 as well. So it wasn't as though the giant could run behind his own lines and just survive that way.
Yeah, sure.
Other than that, his saber-tooth on the right-hand side just moves behind the hill, very much hiding some chaff to get closer. In terms of magic, we have got a Wrath of God on the board in turn 1.
Nice.
He rolled a miscast for this cast. I've saved all my dice to stop it. He rolled a miscast, and I let it go because it's the miscast that means he forgets Wrath of God.
He forgets it. Okay, I thought you were going to say it blows up.
No, not that bad. This will be the only Wrath of God of the game, basically. I had my dice. I used my dice to stop everything else afterwards. Fortunately, my dice weren't completely wasted. This is the last Wrath of God, so I've decided to take it on the chin, and I hope it comes down relatively quickly so that it isn't all that long range. Yeah. We'll see. In my movement phase, Black Cloak's very much on job 2. I move all 3 units to do it because I didn't really feel the need to shoot at some bruisers. I wasn't going to get too cocky in terms of only leaving 2 units.
Yeah, there is a danger once 2 of them wipe out 1.
Yeah, and there's quite a decent countercharge for a raged up giant there. He can go in any number of directions to cause some chaos if I don't kill him. And also, I haven't got Fate's Judgment. I'm not looking at him with the magic this time, so it is all on that shooting. Very much so. Kuloth moving around the flank, can't be seen at the moment. Krasnar very much keeping with the militants. This time I haven't obviously got the speed bump overrun thing.
No, but that's fine.
It is a long charge though for the bruisers though, and I don't think they'll be going into them with that amount of distance between us. I move my Judicators forward a little bit to kind of sneak into the action. It's dicey, Merc Vets versus Judicators. I would be attacking first, but likewise, impact hits hurts a lot.
The thing is, they have so many attacks each. You've got to kill them.
Yeah,
you can't just wound them. You've got to kill them.
Yeah, and he has got his BSV and his Great Calm in there. So I think that goes Merc Vet's ways, if I'm honest.
I would say so.
Yeah, but what I have done is also I've moved sideways to get away from Wrath of God.
Yeah.
And backwards with my Alchemy Wizard.
Sure.
So
get some space.
Giving Wrath of God a bit of space, yeah. My harpies do the same as his saber-tooth tiger, and just hide behind the hill. Chaff battle over there, can't see each other. And the militants on that side.
Just like imagining like a release the hounds moment.
Where'd they come from?
Yeah. Oh, they've flown over me. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And the militants on that side are very much aware of that bruiser dart. Not bruiser dart, tribesman dart, which is which is there. Magic wise, Wrath of God doesn't come down, so an extra token comes on. That's at the end of my magic phase. I do get Know Thine Enemy on my militants, just to boost. Not Know Thine Enemy. I don't mean that, do I mean, your favourite spell, Altered Sight.
Oh, it's
on
sight.
the militants
So
on the right hand side, just to give them an extra boost.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I think that's just in case anyone charges me. So obviously there is.
What's number 2 spell?
Number 2 spell is Truth of Time to minimise their charge range.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're Swift Stride. They're actually rolling 5 dice for their charge, taking away the lowest from Swift Stride and the 2 highest from my spell.
Nice.
So it's quite cool that lots of dice for a charge.
Yeah.
Removing the 2 highest and the 1 lowest. Yeah. That's just to stop. So there obviously are charge ranges available to him at this stage, because I wouldn't be doing that otherwise. I also got Stars Align on that unit of Black Cloaks to help with the shooting. Speaking of shooting, by Giant.
Smashed up. So what was the better play for him with that Giant? In the corner?
I guess so. And then my Black Cloaks are far away.
Or just not have it.
Yeah, maybe the Giant's in his corner, I guess. I don't know.
It's depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, if they were just sat behind very much similar to your situation, wasn't it? Just don't bring them to the battle.
So how do they have an impact on the game?
Yeah, because he didn't ever get the chance to charge with them. So
only moved one of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Poor giants.
Ogre Khan movement.
Giant lives matters.
No, they really don't.
No.
I don't think he declares the charge with his Tuskers. I think that's just moving up. He's very much just setting his lines there, really. The Tribesman Dart is moving towards that secure target.
Yeah.
Staying within 6 inches of it. So obviously that's something I've got to deal with, the fact that I'm probably not winning that objective while making sure I get the middle one. Trouble with the middle one is that Wrath of God is just sat there.
Yeah. And, you don't need it now, do you?
I can't. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't. Yeah, exactly. I can be patient with it. So yeah, he isn't. The Great Khan, I believe, has now switched to the Bruiser block as well.
And they've gone.
So he's got a character
deep.
in each unit.
They
have gone deep. Yeah. Just to give him a bit more room, I guess, and it adds an extra impact hit.
Okay.
As well.
Which is probably where he's going to be doing the wounds.
Right. Yeah, against me, he needs to kill more before I strike, I guess. Movement-wise, for me, I moved Kuloth up in the flank of the Bruisers. The Bruisers can't see him. He gave me that opportunity.
I was going to say, otherwise that's very brash of you.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I'm kind of doing that as a bit of a bait. Because that Great Khan has got Kagadai's Maul, which is multiple wounds D3.
Smashes him up, yeah.
Unless the Kraken kills him first.
But if you're in the flank, he won't be able to attack you. Will he?
Exactly, although he will have a turn before I charge it, is what I'm thinking.
Sure.
So potentially that Great Khan could move to the flank.
Okay, yeah.
So a lot will come to pass between now and then. The Black Cloaks have moved up. Their targets are now limited, really, with everything else. So
they've just bagged 700 points and not going to
die.
So.
Yeah. But they are worth 600 points themselves, so it's not that much of a trade. It's not a huge gain. It is a gain, and I'm not ungrateful, but still. I am moving my militants with the altar relatively ballsy forward. I am saying charge me with that altar. To the Bruiser Dart. The Merc Vets are a long way away, so they're not a problem for them. It's very much Bruisers versus Altar, and then Merc Vets and Tusker versus Judicators.
Yeah.
I'm trying to split the battle in two, because I think with my Krakens on that side, I've got a good advantage over there. It's just when I press that advantage, really.
Sure.
And I don't want to get too early because I don't want him to be able to react accordingly. Magic-wise, this was an interesting one, and I cast Silver Spike with my alchemy wizard into his tribesman dart.
Yeah, man.
And I think this surprised Paul, and I hope, I mean, with anything that surprises my opponent, I'm always hoping I've read it right, because he didn't have a standard bearer in his tribesman unit, which meant that his shaman could be hit over the rank and file, because ogres have a scrappling lookout rule, which means that if they have a standard, then you can have 3 rank and file before your characters can be hit.
Okay.
Whereas the normal rule for every other
army
is you need 5.
Yeah.
But if you have a standard bearer, then that reduces to 3.
Cool.
So I'm thinking that because I can do Silver Spike on that unit, and the shaman is up front, Silver Spike hits the shaman first.
You allocate 1 hit and it's...
Exactly, and then it goes through with the lowest strength afterwards. So yeah, I take advantage of that and do 2 wounds to his shaman with the Silver Spike, which is nice.
Yeah.
Do 2 wounds to the unit as well, so even the low strength ones did fairly well, which is cool. I don't think magic-wise I got a lot else off, though. So, my units are not actually buffed at this stage. So if his bruisers were to charge my militant altar at this stage, I would only be strength 3, which is quite a scary prospect, actually. I mean, he'd only be res 3, so I'd be wounding on 3s because of my ruthless efficiency.
Is it only if you get a spell off, not if you get an attribute off on them?
It has to be an augment spell.
Augment spell.
Or if the opponent casts a hex on me.
Yeah.
So actually, it's any spell.
But like
that
you
remains
couldn't
in play.
put flame. Oh no, you're supposed to flame and attack. Flammable is the attribute, isn't it? Actually.
Yeah, that does. It's not non-attribute. It is non-tribute.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the divination one is a augment. What's it called? Always forget what that one's called. The divination attribute. The one that gives you
leadership,
cold-blooded,
doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
That's gone for me.
I do some shooting with the black cloaks. Obviously, there's a bit of cover because Kuloth's standing in the way. But I do 2 wounds to the, maybe 1 wound to the bruisers. Actually, not a lot. He has got a breath weapon on his Great Khan, but I don't think he ever uses it for info.
Fair enough.
Going into ogre movement, he adjusts his bruisers slightly so that I can now see Kuloth, the Kraken.
They're big old units, aren't they, in the ogres?
Yeah, pretty bulky, which I guess makes sense. His shaman moves back to the other tribesman unit, which also doesn't have a standard bearer, FYI. But obviously the chances of hitting that are a lot less.
Yeah.
Wrath of God still hasn't come down. This is Ogre's turn 3. It was cast in Ogre's turn 1. Which actually is really causing me problems because I just can't get forward.
Yeah.
I'm scared of it, really. And its range is growing as well, which doesn't help matters. But I am quite far away now from it. The Tuskers still aren't moving all that much. I have actually moved my Harpies. In my turn 3, I moved my Harpies behind his Tuskers. Which I think that was a very risky move because I'm very low discipline on them, and without being able to march, my movement is only 9 inches.
Sure,
So I think that was actually quite a risky thing of me. I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah,
I did.
Well, they like discipline 5.
5 or 6. It's not high.
Yeah.
So yeah. But obviously, their job is to chaff something. It's just now wasn't yet the time to chaff.
Yeah.
But obviously, if they can't move enough to chaff something, then they're no use to me at all. Cool. Wrath of God. Time for Wrath of God. Finally comes down.
And it hit you anyway. Oh no!
It hit me anyway because it was quite. It was.
May as well
it was
have
high,
been up.
It was just high enough to hit those militants, not high enough to hit the Judicators. That's fine. That unit of militants is kind of so far back anyway now. It's probably only looking at claiming the objective and not doing a lot else. So I'm happy with that outcome, even though it has held me back for a few turns. Magic-wise, he does a wound to Kuloth as well. 1 wound. I don't remember what it was. Was it... the first one. in Thaumaturgy. The one that I really like, the D6 hits at D6 strength or whatever. I should remember what that's called.
I know that one as well.
I've used that before, yeah. Anyway, he does one with that. You will notice, however, going into my turn 4 movement, that Kuloth is gone.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. He casts the breath weapon on his Great Khan again. And, man, that hurt. It was... I don't think he even rolled very high on the strength, either. Because it's D3 plus 2 strength. And I have a suspicion he rolled, like, strength 3 on the strength. 60. But he got loads of 6s, and I failed all my armor.
Well, there we go.
I think it's AP2, so I didn't
points.
Anyway. So yeah, Kuloth goes down, and that is a concern because other than the giants, I haven't got a lot of points off of him, and that kind of evens out the giants a bit. So it's worth one giant at least. So that was unfortunate. I wasn't sure what I was really going to do with Kuloth anyway.
Yeah, sure.
I might have even gone into his Great Khan and tried to multiple wound D3 him before he kills me. And then die to the bruisers afterwards, but
just die. Yeah.
Killing the Great Khan for the points and the general would be
even getting a few wounds off on him.
Exactly. Yeah. Obviously, you're losing him to a breath weapon. That's not ideal at all. My movement, though, I moved the 1 unit of Black Cloaks up to chaff, which semi-chaff. Create a charge path that I am happy with. Is actually what they're doing. If the bruisers charge that unit of Black Cloaks, I'll stand firm, and then he'll either hold position and reform, or in which case I can definitely charge with my altar, or he will overrun to try and get the next unit of Black Cloaks, which would be possible, but then I would have a very nice flank charge.
Yeah.
So that's the thinking there. Very much thinking of sacrificing those Black Cloaks for the job. Obviously, if he doesn't charge at all, then...
That'd be good.
Next plan, really.
Boss, I just killed 2 giants. Great, go stand over there. What?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think my fears come into play with the Harpies because I failed that March test. However, I just have enough movement to move them 9 inches in front of the Tuskers. With Wrath of God gone, that means I can go a little bit more aggressive with my Judicators and my Militants.
Yeah.
In his turn, the Merc Vets have slightly moved to face the left-hand side. So I know that I can now actually chaff the Tuskers and countercharge with the Militants.
Are you out of line of sight with the Judicators?
Of the Merc Vets? No. Nope.
You fancy that?
Maybe. Can't honestly remember. What I do is I get Truth of Time off on the Judicators, which gives them extra movement. He's shutting down a lot of the spells on my Militants on the left, which is just understandable, to give him options. But yeah, I didn't get a whole lot on the Judicators either, and yeah, a little bit risky looking at that Merc Vet charge, isn't it? See if he takes it.
It is.
Because it's not like I've got much of a counter to help me out.
No, not really.
Yeah. Shooting wise, I do a few more wounds to Tribesman, maybe? No. Can't think I've done a lot of shooting wounds there at all, actually. I've called this picture shooting, but I'm not really sure what I've achieved with that. So we won't worry about that. And then movement. Didn't fancy it.
Didn't fancy it.
I was right. Well, maybe. He agreed with me.
Yeah, I think what it was... You could have been both wrong.
Absolutely.
But...
yeah, but that's fine. We're either both wrong or both right.
Yeah, right.
Because if one of us was thinking the other, then there would have been a charge. He obviously just didn't fancy it with the Tuskers engaged, basically. I think he needed... I mean, he was movement 7 Swift Stride. So, I mean, he has moved back here as well. So I think he needed like an 8 or a 9.
Sure.
But, yeah, just didn't fancy it. Very interesting to see how that would have gone. I suspect, like you, that the Merc Vets would have done a very decent job on them. Judicators would have been attacking first. But
Well, I don't know. Generally don't know.
And we won't. We won't know.
And
it didn't happen. He also doesn't take the charge with the bruisers on the Black Cloak, which I guess was fair enough, basically, thinking about what I'd prepped with that. And the tribesmen on the right are very much now...
And what turn is this? Turn 4? His turn 4?
His turn 4.
His turn 4.
His turn 4. Bottom of the 4th. And, of course, I forgot about the Saber-Tooth Tiger, and he's chaffed that militant unit, so the counter-charge on the Tuskers is not there with that militant unit. I don't suppose I forgot about it. I just... Yeah, not there. Ogre Magic, he puts the Ogre Hereditary on the bruisers to mean I'm -1 to wound, so that counters the Dread Elf rule.
Yep. Is that
fine.
Just in combat, though?
Yes, just in combat.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely, just in combat, yeah. He has charged the Harpies with the Tuskers. I don't think I mentioned that particularly, but he has. Yeah, and in Magic, I don't think he's got a whole lot else off. Obviously, he hasn't got Wrath of God at all now, so he has actually got one less spell. He's only got a Wizard Master, so he's only actually got 3 spells, I think.
Okay.
So, he casts one, I dispel another, depending on the amount of dice he's got. He's probably only getting 1, maybe 2 spells at most off.
Yeah, sure.
There's that. So, combat, Harpies die, as you'd expect. Do literally nothing to the Tuskers, but he does not overrun. He just reforms. In the face of the Judicators, pretty much. And going into my turn. My turn 5. Charge, Judicators!
Pussy!
I had Truth of Time off, so there was very little chance I was failing that, because I was rolling 4 dice. I think it was probably only a 5 or a 6 to get them.
Yeah.
And he flees. And he flees big. Like 12 inches. Maybe even it might have even been 11, because I think 12 would have been off the board.
Okay.
So it was close to being off the board, and that would have been an amazing amount of points I would have got for a flee. It does obviously leave my Judicators in prime position for the Mercvets to charge, but he turned it down once. So
so you've been a bit power play here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my Judicators are saying we're the ones with the balls here.
Sense in the game.
Yeah, sense in the fear. Exactly.
Same with the bruisers. You don't care. Just don't care.
Yeah, he's just not charging me. He's not charging me at all, and so I couldn't now charge with my altar unit because my Black Cloaks were in the way. But my Black Cloaks just say, okay, well, we've stood in the front of you and survived, so we'll just move on and start shooting you then. And now my Black Cloaks are actually moving to think about being chaff for the Mercvets while shooting stuff on the way, which is great because I didn't have any chaff there anymore.
Yeah.
So the fact that I've moved my Black Cloaks up for the left flank to now chaff the middle is awesome. And I'm thinking about killing the Saber-Tooth while I'm there as well with the shooting.
Yeah, for sure.
Or something, anyway. And the other Black Cloaks are just sitting there in a traffic jam, no room to move. And yeah, my altar unit is literally just saying, "Bruisers, come and get me, man. I'm right here." So
been dying for some combat.
Absolutely, they are. Yeah. Obviously, my Judicators have failed their charge, so they're not too far forward. Turn 3 magic. I actually killed the Saber-Tooth with Ice and Fire, which was a little bit weird.
Nice.
It was kind of like using dice, trying to get dice out of him. And he let it go, and the Saber-Tooth got killed with magic, which is fine. I go Alchemy for my other spells.
It looks good.
That Glory of Gold on that militant unit, and that's nice.
So the Alchemy guy is in with them, is he?
No, the Alchemy guy is actually in the middle militant unit.
Okay.
The one right at the bottom.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's that. I don't think there's any other magic on there. Shooting wise, I actually used the Black Cloaks to target his Shaman again.
Yep.
Because same rules apply. He hasn't got a standard in there. I do 1 wound to the Shaman though.
But you can't just. Doesn't that just mean you can? You have to do it evenly though. You can't just go against him, can you?
No. It's not sniper. Yeah. No, I think there might be other wounds elsewhere.
Yeah.
On the unit, I don't know. But yeah, I get 1 wound through.
That's decent.
On the Shaman.
So is he?
They get half points.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Nice.
Combat-wise, I did something a bit Yankee here. Straight out of Shane's book.
I like it.
I kill the saber-tooth and I reform to be on the hill.
The classic militant dart.
Absolutely. I mean, this is my turn 5, so obviously I would have his turn 5, then my turn 6 I can charge. And that means that puts his tribesmen in a situation where they're going to get charged by a dart of militants. And I think the dart of militants, even with only 6 attacks, 7 attacks with a champion, and a charge, a standard, 7 attacks, I think they kill the tribesman if he takes them on.
Well, make them flee. I don't think they kill them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't have rank bonus to add to it, but still.
But neither does he.
No, indeed.
And he's not great leadership, is he?
No, he leadership's 7. Obviously, if he keeps all 3 alive, then he could be steadfast.
That's a nice move. Nice move.
A bit Yankee, and I played around with that one for a lot. I went 3 wide, I went 4 wide.
To try and get on the hill.
Right on the hill.
Yeah.
And this eventually got me on the hill, so amazing. Now, there is obviously the possibility that the Merc Vets have got a very long charge on them in the flank. It's very long, though, so that was worth the risk, I decided. He takes this move as a reaction on the hill. He knows he's going to get charged, but just, moves him nearer. He's still within 6 inches of that secure target.
Giving you a flank as well.
Yeah, he couldn't move forward enough while staying within 6 inches. And he couldn't get out of charge arc now that I was on the hill. So he went with that. Can't say I could explain it any more than that, other than that was his decision.
He rallies, though.
He does rally his Tuskers, which was a shame. He was leadership 9 rerollable, I think. Yeah. Or maybe 8 rerollable, because his Great Khan might not have been there. His Shaman has now got absolutely tired of being in the tribesman. Look, I wounded the tribesman, actually. And is now sitting in the Merc Vets. So all his characters are in the Merc Vets. That is his unit. He did something that surprised me with the Bruisers, as well as abandoning them with all the characters. He moved to there, which gives me a flank charge with my altar. And I was intrigued by that, because I thought that was a great outcome for me, if I was honest. I don't know whether he thought I was in his front and my Black Cloaks were kind of limiting the amount of attacks I got.
Yeah.
But, I am in his flank. So, spoiler to come.
Yeah.
I'm in his flank.
That's only going one way. That's only going one way.
Exactly. So there's that. And my Judicators, seeing his Merc Vets back off. I've got my Judicators and I've got the Militants holding the middle objective. He has got one more turn, of course, turn 6. But I'm 2 units near the secure target and hoping that the Judicators very much can hold the long charge if they do decide to eventually take it.
Yeah.
Dread Elves, turn 6. I charge the tribesman on the hill. He flees it, hoping that he can get away and rally and be within 6 inches in turn 6, which makes sense. And doing that, if they rallied, would allow his Tuskers to then move up and win that objective 2-1.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. He actually flees off the table, though, which wasn't a high roll. It was like 7 or 8, I think, probably above average, but he did indeed roll off the table.
No, that makes more sense, actually, than...
Yeah.
To be fair.
Exactly. So there was logic there. Just took this picture to work out that logic, or remind myself of that logic. I have taken the charge with my altar unit into the flank of the Bruisers. Loving that. Don't have all my militants attacking, obviously, but I don't need many to break them. I will be breaking steadfast. So...
and you're only 7. You're 7 wide as well, so you got ranks.
7 wide. I've got ranks. I've got everything. It's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
My legate can make way as well to add to the hurt. So it's going to be nice.
Is it auto even if you don't do? If neither of you do any wounds?
On static, so I've got flank, charge, big flank, 3 ranks, BSB, standard. So I'm 8-0.
Yeah, so you
before any wounds.
Yeah, man. That's tough to overcome.
And he's only got 6 attacks and 2 stomps with his bruisers if they're alive for it. So yeah, that's great for me. Really great.
Yeah, man.
Krasnar having the day off.
Just chilling, man.
Don't worry about it.
Chilling, yes.
Don't worry about it.
Come on, boys.
Right. And the other Black Cloaks just say fine. You guys have got the courage.
Behind us at the minute, so I'll move us down.
Okay, fair enough. And the Black Cloaks are now chuffing the Merc Vets, so even if they want that charge now, they can't have it.
Well, there you go.
So
they're the bravest souls of the whole army.
And will they survive the battle? What do you think?
Place your bets now.
Oh yeah. I got Altered Sight on my militants just to buff them up to strengths 4. It's probably already game over for the bruisers anyway, but that just means if there is a counter
unit
charge,
as well. That's a big unit.
Exactly. Yeah, 700 points I'll get for that. So, I also managed to get off Truth of Time on the Tuskers to reduce their charge, because there is the possibility, of course, that if he charges my 2 wide militants on the hill, those Tuskers probably do a bit of a number on them.
Yeah, it'll smash you up.
Two Tuskers only, because obviously I'm so thin. But with D3 impact hits and a lot of attacks against only my 7 attacks, that hurts the militants. So I actually do Truth of Time to reduce their charge possibility. I know I've won the middle objective, because I know that he can't get to that now, because I'm chaffing him.
Are you within 6 of the right objective?
Yes, I am within 6, yeah. The other possibility, of course, was when I charged with them, they wouldn't charge enough to get within 6.
Yeah.
But yes, they did. So it was a good thinking from Paul in terms of trying to stop me get that objective. I do only need to draw that rightmost objective, though, assuming I win the middle one.
Sure.
Combat-wise, there is literally no resistance to that militant unit. The Legate does take 1 wound from a crying bruiser.
And you even go into the other unit. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Brutal.
So I'm going to get the tribesman points as well on my turn 6, which is grand.
I don't know what the thinking there was.
I don't either, really. It seemed like a dream come true, really. It was a bit of a gift, really, getting them that easy. I think it's a similar result, even if I go in the front, though, really. So maybe it was like...
Sure, but then the overrun and stuff. I'm not understanding that.
Even better for this overrun is that the character on the left side of his Merc Vets can't see them. So can't even counter with a single character.
What the hell, man?
So, yeah, looking nice there. Really nice. So that is, goes into his turn 6 for the militants to fight again. Of course, the big charge for the Tuskers, though. That's the big one. That was it.
Oh, did they took it, did they?
They took the charge on the militants. They had to try and draw that objective, win that objective, actually. He fails it by 1.
Oh!
As a result of Truth of Time. Literally, the dice were 3s and 4s. I think he needed a 7 or an 8 overall.
God.
And it was a 3 and a 4 in the middle dice, or whatever it was. The higher one was taken away, the lower one was
lucky boy.
I think it ended up a 6 instead of a 7 or something like that. It was tight, but Truth of Time, literally, it's an underrated spell, but when it's useful, it is useful.
Yeah.
The Black Cloaks are probably going to get their ass handed to them now.
Yeah, if you bet on them surviving.
Yeah, not looking great.
You're not getting your money back.
No. And then this is how it ended. In his turn, he declared a long charge with... he overrun with the Merc Vets. He was more than 6 inches away from the middle objective, but it didn't matter because I had 2 there anyway.
Yeah.
Which I knew he couldn't have overrun into the Judicators. Not that there was any turns left to fight. Kill the tribesmen with my militants, and they just face the other side, ready to go for what's left.
Yeah, I'll move this.
My Black Cloaks that chaffed his... No. I was about to say they managed to kill the shaman. They didn't, because that would have been illegal as well.
Yeah, he's in
the shaman is
that's a big old unit of merc vets, that is.
I got half
points
with it. So.
Yeah.
That unit is very scary, and even now I don't think I want to charge it with anything.
No.
I mean, I suppose a rear charge with the militants and the altar, a flank charge with the judicators. Maybe that's not bad.
I'd just go in the flank personally, but it's
yeah. His characters wouldn't fight, but then they would if I killed his back rank. So anyway, yeah, that was a great turnout for me in the end.
Yeah,
really.
Man.
I felt in control of that battle. Obviously, he didn't take any of the charges against me. He just didn't want to charge me, which meant I could dictate a lot of the situations.
Yeah.
I did feel losing Kulov at the time was dicey and made me a lot weaker. But because his bruisers wanted nothing to do with that altar block, I just moved up slowly.
Yeah, just didn't want to
situation where I liked it. So
just didn't want to charge, did they?
No, and apart from waiting for Wrath of God to come down, it was one of them, really. Obviously, I haven't got the Tusker points and I haven't got the Bruiser points, so not a massive, it's not a high win. But with the objective, 16-4.
Very nice, well played.
So yeah, really happy with that. And it does bring me back into mid-table with 37 points out of 80.
Shooting up.
Getting back towards the middle 50-point mark, which 13 from my last battle, and I get 50 points, which is the objective.
Yeah, man.
So obviously 13 is a win, so it's still not easy. But yeah, that was a real good... I actually felt like I knew my army and I knew what to do with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, fair play to Paul. He obviously didn't like the idea of the combats that I was setting up.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I do think it might have been worth the punt on one or two occasions to charge me. So I wasn't. But then, if he fails those charges and I get the counter, he gets diced up. So absolutely, it's understandable not taking them, 100%.
And Dread Elves are good in combat. It's not like...
Oh, they're very good. Yeah,
so you'd probably say they're better than Ogres in combat. So
yeah, I mean, especially when you account for the buffs and things like that. So
yeah. Fair play.
Good game. Good chatting with Paul. Yeah, really good game.
Nice.
Nice not to have too much controversy in there. At least I hope.
There's going to be something.
Something. Someone will.
Always something.
Yeah, always something. But that's fine. So yeah, that's round 4 done in the Scottish Championships, leading to the final round.
Sound.
So give some comments, like, share, subscribe. Hope you're enjoying this, and wish us luck for round 5.
Yeah, final round of the Scots.
Of the what?
The Scots.
Yep. See you there, folks. See you there.
See you later.